So, hey guys, new selection pack just dropped, and this new secret as well. So we have Ishtira Mermail secret pack, which is like okay, I guess. Two elements is kind of expensive-ish, but it's not like that good, so not feeling that strongly about it. Oh hey, extinction on schedule. Well, anyway, so we do uh featured cards here. I mean, the mermails, I don't think are that good, honestly. But on the bright side, because the mermails are here, I think there's a good chance that you can unlock this secret without actually crafting a card. I believe there was a mermail solo gate, so if you finish that, you probably will unlock this pack. If that doesn't apply right now, it should apply in the future, probably. Maybe they forgot, I didn't actually check, but finishing that solo gate should unlock this, and they left tier limit to the point where it's actually playable, so it's pretty nice how in Master Duel we don't completely butcher a list. Like, sure, Havness is at 1 and Merly is banned, but you still have your Kick Kellos, your Root Kellos, Kaleido Heart, whatever, and it's perfectly playable. Is it the best deck? Is it the worst deck? No, it's just kind of mid. So, uh, not much to say, honestly. I don't think there are any new cards in here, though. Might as well check. Yeah, no, none. Okay, so nothing to really say about that. And then we have Return of the King here. So I looked through, like, some of these newly added cards. I haven't finished looking through the EarthBound Immortal ones, but I'm kind of confused about, like, why anyone would want any of the cards in the secret pack, or not secret pack, the selection pack here. So if we go to Relayed cards, so if we read Vision Resonator, if a level 5 or higher dark monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. So I guess this is like a good extender. No hard ones per turn, so is there? Oh, never mind, there is a hard ones per turn. So this is just a good card to have like maybe 2 or 3 of. Unless you have like a pretty consistent way to add this to hand, I'm not sure. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one spell trap that mentions Red Dragon Arcane from your deck to your hand. So you can add any of them, but noticeably there is Crimson Gaia, which mentions Red Dragon Arcane right here. During your main phase, you can add one Red Dragon Arcane or one card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except for Crimson Gaia. When your Red Dragon Arcane declares an attack, you can change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. If a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Red Dragon Arcane from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Crimson Gaia once per turn. So you can just add Crimson Gaia if you don't already have it, and this will just allow you to add a Red Dragon Archfiend or one card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So a little bit better than Vision Resonator in the sense that it includes monsters that mention it and not just spell traps. So maybe that's relevant for something. Notably, Crimson Gaia can actually add Vision Resonator as well. This is probably useful for some sort of combo. But like, as far as the spell traps go, I just couldn't see anything useful. So let's go to Vision Resonator real fast. And I guess that doesn't show everything. Alright, never mind. So we go to Crimson Gaia. You can add Scarlet Security. Destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. That one's like kinda okay, I guess. But not really useful for like a combo or anything going first. If you control a Red Dragon Arcane, draw 2 cards. You cannot normally special summon monsters the turn you activate this card, and until the end of your opponent's turn after this card is activated. So this card seems giga trash, because you need to control a Red Dragon Arcfiend, and also you cannot normal or special summon monsters the turn you activate this card. Meaning, this has to be done on like turn 3. So you have to summon Red Dragon Arcfiend, so let's pretend we have no opponent here, right? No, we have to special summon Red Dragon Arcfiend. So this card counts as Red Dragon Arcfiend, I guess. And this one as well, probably. Does this count as Red Dragon Arcane? Probably. So just like one of the red dragon Archfiend guys, and then you draw two cards, and you can't even summon on your opponent's turn. So you have to wait like another turn after that before you can summon. But you do draw two cards, I guess. So the only thing you would do with those cards is set them or activate them if they're spell traps. So, well, really, what the hell is this card even? I don't see this card ever being good. Well, cool, I guess. Well, not cool, I guess. And with Absolute Power Force, target one red Dragon Arcane you control. If that monster you control battles an opponent's monster this turn, apply these effects until the end of the turn step. It gains 1,000 attack. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. If it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing bell damage to your opponent. Any bell damage your opponent takes from that bell is doubled. So this is just like a damage step trick. Nothing really particularly interesting about this one. I don't think this is a card you would probably add unless you want to OTK really badly. I'm not sure if you have any difficulty doing that already, so pretty, pretty awkward. Red Cocoon, target one dragon type synchro monster you control, equip this card to it. While it's battling an opponent's monster until the end of the damage step, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can target one red dragon Arcane in your graveyard, special summon it. So Red Cocoon looking like the best one. So you can use this card as an extender if you can somehow put Red Cocoon into the graveyard. You would target a red Dragon Arcfiend monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So far the best one. Fiendish Golem. Target a monster on the field with 2,000 or more attack, mash it until the end phase of the next turn. And if you activate this while you control Red Dragon Arcfiend or a synchro monster that mentions it, you can set one Fiendish Chain directly from your deck or graveyard. Well, what the hell is Fiendish Chain, I guess? Activate this card by targeting one effect monster on the field, negate the effect of that face-up monster while it is on field. Also, that face-up monster can attack. When it is destroyed, destroy this card. I guess Fiendish Golem is like alright then. Is the banish effect here is a point of interaction, and then it gets you Fiendish Chain, which honestly you might not even need to run Fiendish Chain. It kind of can end up being a brick, I guess, so whatever. Then we have Crimson Fire. When your opponent activates a spell trap card that would inflict damage to you while you control a red Dragon Arcfiend, your opponent takes twice the effect damage you would have taken instead. This is only relevant against something like Time Lords. Aside from that, like, I don't think many decks will try to burn you per game, okay? So that's probably fine. Red screen. Your opponent's monsters cannot declare attacks during each of your end phases. You must pay 1,000 life points. This is not optional, or this card is destroyed. You can target one level 1 tuner monster in your graveyard, destroy this card, and if you do special summon that target. Red Dragon Arcane must be on the field to activate and to resolve this effect. So red screen doesn't seem that good to me, honestly. So you're summoning a tuner for turn 3. And you're also just doing like Swords of Revealing Light to stop your opponent from attacking. This does have like specific perks though. The notable perk is that if your opponent's monsters cannot declare attacks, unless your opponent removes this, they cannot Zeus you. It is not within the cards, you know? So that is the primarily best part of this card. So yeah, that's about it. Because honestly, like if we look at all these cards here, who is going to remove these guys by battle? You're going to probably do it by effect of some sort. Just not destruction for the most part. Because, you know, they're mostly immune to destruction. Not all of them, but these ones, for example, these three are all immune to destruction, I believe. Or they have some kind of effect. Special summon. One red dragon arcane from your extra deck is treated as a synchro summon. If this card was sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a dark dragon synchro monster, you can destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. Does that count as this? Probably not. But whatever. Red Zone. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. You can target one of your banished Dark Dragon Synchro monsters, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Red Zone once per turn. So this card also, like, it's just one of these three, I guess, that's worth playing. So you can just generically pop a card whenever your opponent activates something while you control a Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it. And this includes your own cards, so you can technically use this to pop Scarred Dragon Archfiend, and then this would allow you to Synchro summon a Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck, which is fine, I guess. And you can also look at one of your banished Dark Dragon Synchro monsters. Not 100% sure why they would be banished, but you can special summon it, but which is great, I guess. It's at least a body, probably. If you're playing Bestials, I guess it super makes sense. So that's everything here, right? So we have Scarred Dragon Archfiend, which we looked at. Yep. So this has an effect. Not 100% sure what's triggering it, but okay. If a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard. So I'm not sure if there's any quick synchro effects or anything like that. So if there are, well, these cards should be making a little bit more sense. But I mean, while we're here, Bashing Trap Hole. When your opponent summons a monster with 1,500 or less attack, bash a monster with 1,500 or less attack face down. This is just a card that I guess like Traptrix now has access to. Cool. Synchro Force Back. Target monsters on field up to the number of synchro monsters with different names you control. Return them to the hand. This is just kind of like a funny synchro trap you can run, like, depending on like what deck you're playing, I guess. Finis Terrae, Tower of the Necroworld. If you control a level 10 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Finis Terrae. Tower of the Necroworld, once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up card on the field. Wait, what? The card cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard at all. I guess that this card was printed to help out with the Tistina stuff. Sure. And then what else do we have? Not much. Okay. Then we have the Tistina cards, and also this random card. Send monsters from your hand or face a field to the graveyard whose total level is equal 10. Draw 2 cards. So, one question I have about this card is, does this count specifically, like, spell trap monsters? Like, how do pens apply for Tokusano Shinkyojin here? Like, do we send, I don't know, like Therions off of this? Does that work? I mean, you have to technically equal 3, which let's assume you do have like a monster in hand that's level 3, and you have like Therion Foom attached. Can we send Foom and like a random punk to draw 2? Noticeably, this doesn't have a hard once per turn. I'm not sure it fully matters, but like, does that even work? Eh. Not sure, but it's randomly a UR, even though I don't think this is that good of a card, honestly. The best usage it has is it's a little bit more flexible than Trade-in. Imagine if Trade-in also said like the same kind of text here, whose total levels equal 8 instead. That would make Trade-in a little bit more flexible, which is nice, but yeah. If we look at Tistina though, essentially what I see from Tistina is it boils down to, well, we can summarize this as like we have Demigod of the Tistina, which has this quick effect. You can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position, then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. And Crystal God Tistina has the same effect, but this is an ignition effect and not a quick effect. So essentially same effect. We do have, well, actually, no, it's not. During your main phase, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down. No, wait, it is the same effect. Okay. This card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card. You can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position. Then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. So this has to be specifically destroyed, so destroyed by battle or card effect. Then it'll send all your opponent's face down defense position cards. Or not face down defense position cards. It'll put all their face-up cards face down. Then it'll send all the face-up ones. I'm not sure if this applies to unaffected monsters, but since this is all unaffect, it probably doesn't, I don't think. I would have to think on it a little bit, though. Yeah. It's like iffy. But maybe it outs towers, honestly. I'm not really sure. I have to remember the text on, what's it called? Dharma Karma Cannon? To see if it's, like, similar to that, but whatever. This card is special summoned. You can send all face down cards your opponent controls to the graveyard, so this is why you set all your opponent's cards face down. So you summon Tistina, the divinity that defies darkness, probably using Demigod and Crystal God Tistina. And then you can send all face down cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. You can only use this effect hard once per turn. The other effects are not hard once per turn. Once per turn, if this card has Crystal God Tistina as material, you can detach one material from this card to gain 2,000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So this puts this at 4k attack. If this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card while it has material, you can special summon a Tistina monster from your graveyard. So that would allow you to summon like Crystal God Tistina or Demigod of the Tistina. So you only have this effect here if you control a Crystal God Tistina, which you probably don't anymore. And then you also still see you don't really have anything, so you'd probably summon Crystal God Tistina with this, I'm guessing. And this would at least force your opponent to deal with the if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, which is essentially the same as the first effect. Your opponent would have to deal with that, I guess. And you also still have Play of the Tistina to technically bring back Demigod of the Tistina if necessary. There's Breath of the Tistina, which is extra normal summon. And let's see, can you control? You can one face a monster on the field. Instead, change that monster to face down defense position, then add one Tistina card from your deck to your hand. So this deck seems like it might be meant for going second or something, potentially, but it has like going first place. Like I'm not 100% sure. Like Book of Eclipse probably goes like fairly hard on this, and like Denko Sekka does not seem like that bad, for example. I'm not 100% sure though. Activate this card by targeting one face-up monster on the field. Special summon this card as an effect monster. During your opponent's turn, when that target leaves the field, destroy this card. During your opponent's turn, when this card leaves the field, destroy that target. Okay, so seems like these effects are meant to be used on your opponent's cards, obviously. Okay, so if this leaves the field, this will force your opponent to lose their monster, I guess. Then we have, let's see, Embrace of the Tistina. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can target that monster, change it to face down defense position. So this doesn't negate, it just changes it to face down defense position during end phase. You target one face down defense position monster your opponent controls, take control of that monster. You can only use each effect of Embrace of the Tistina once per turn and can only activate them while you control a Tistina monster with 3,000 or more defense. So it looks like this deck gets really rolled by evenly. Don't see a way to deal with that, but alright. You can only use each effect once per turn and can only activate them. Okay, so you can activate both effects. So this is essentially kind of snatch steal kind of effect. So let's say our opponent has a Baron for some reason and we flip that Baron face down with Embrace of the Tistina, then we can technically, well, we would probably need specifically Tistina, the divinity that defies darkness at 3k, because none of these guys are actually at 3k, which is awkward. But if we had a 3k Tistina, the divinity that defies darkness here, or let's just say Tistina XYZ, or Tistina XEs, then this is probably the only way to have a 3k Tistina monster with the proper stat line for this. I don't see any way to increase their attack randomly. So I guess we can do this. And notably, let's see, you target that monster. Your two face down defense position. Does this have an effect? Effect monster. I don't see this starting a chain. Is there any way to like put this face down or something? You control a Tistina monster, banish one card from your opponent's graveyard face down. You control a Tistina monster special summon for the extra deck. Banish all cards from your opponent's graveyard face down. You banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Tistina monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. That doesn't seem to do it. Bring your main phase, And then here, this effect. You can target one face-up monster you control, or if you control a light Tistina monster, you can target one face-up monster on the field instead. Change that monster to face-down defense position. Then add one Tistina card from your deck to your hand. I don't remember how continuous spells work. Can we activate this, like, to set signs of the Tistina on our opponent's turn? If so, maybe decent. Otherwise, I don't get it. And then we have these cards. So, I guess notably, Fallen of the Tistina adds the field spell, Divine Domain. And Divine Domain does like a Foolish Burial. And if your opponent controls 3 or more face-up cards, you can special summon a Crystal God Tistina from either your hand or deck. You can only use this effect card once per turn. If this card in your field zone is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Tistina monster from your deck or graveyard. So, pretty weird, I guess. If you were to Baron negate this, I guess. I'm not sure. Does that trigger it? Probably. So, that'll allow you to summon Demigod of the Tistina anyways, one way or another. And this effect, you can banish this card special summon a light Tistina monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Face up Tistina spell trap you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect. So, like, honestly, I don't think it's that important to learn what these guys do, but whatever. You can tribute summon this card face up by tributing one face down monster your opponent controls. That's kind of cool, I guess. This card's level becomes 10 if it was normal summon / set. This card is sent to the graveyard, except from the field. You can target one Tistina monster you control this turn. It can make a second attack during each battle phase. Also, you can only attack with one monster. And this is a weird effect, isn't it? No. Wait. It's the other one. This card is in your hand or graveyard. You control a light Tistina monster, you can special summon this card. Oh yeah, it's this one. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Aqua XYZ monster you control, attach this card to it as material. Yeah, I don't know, this card in the future, if they actually release a dumb Aqua XYZ monster, this could actually be relevant. Because it just says Aqua XYZ, which is a little weird, but whatever. Right now, I don't think there's any like super good Aqua XYZs. If this card is in your hand, you can target one Tistina monster you control, except a turn of the Tistina special summon this card. If you do, its level becomes that targeted monster's level. So essentially, you need to get either Demigod out or Crystal God Tistina to make your plays. we can summarize the deck like this. From what I remember, these cards didn't seem to do that much. Like, nothing super interesting. So we'll move on to Earthbound. Must be fusion summoned. At the start of the damage step, this card battles a monster. Change that monster's attack defense to 0. So it doesn't super matter, I guess. If a monster in your opponent's possession is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. You can only use this effect if Earthbound to serve a Geogresha once per turn. If this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon one Earthbound monster from your deck or extra deck. So I believe you cannot summon Earthbound serving Geogresha because it must be fusion summoned. This doesn't say it cheats it out. So pretty interesting in that regard, I guess. And then we have this new card, Earthbound Prisoner, Stone Sweeper. If there is a card in the field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Earthbound Prisoner, Stone Sweeper, or once per turn. This way, you can discard this card, add one level 3 or lower Fiend Tuner from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for fusion or synchro monsters. You can only use this effect of Earthbound Prisoner, Stone Sweeper, card once per turn. So, cool. What is the target for this? I guess it has to be Earthbound Prisoner Line Walker. If this card has normal special zone, you can add one Earthbound Prison or one Harmonic Synchrofusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If you control a level 6 or higher Earthbound monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Then target one effect monster your opponent controls with a special summon from the extra deck. Shuffle that face-up effect monster into the deck, then your opponent can special summon one monster with the same name from their extra deck. And I believe this actually triggers something else. And wait a second. Hold up. Your opponent can special summon one monster with the same name from the extra deck, so optional. Which is weird. It doesn't force them to. Oh, okay. Then let's see. Should be a guy somewhere. If a monster special summon from your opponent's extra deck, that line right there. So it's Geo Kraken. You can destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible that are special summoned this turn, and if you do, inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. So, is that to just trigger that effect? Seems to be the case, right? Then this will also destroy the back row, I guess. I don't see anything else that mentions extra deck so far. Book effect, special summon one Earthbound monster from your graveyard in defense position, except for Earthbound Servant. Geo Griffin, also you cannot special summon except for future and synchro monsters, right? This one is rest of this turn, noticeably. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can destroy one card on the field, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Earthbound monster with a different name in your field and graveyard. Okay. During the main phase. Quick effect. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Your opponent chooses one of these effects for you to apply. Destroy that monster or gain LP equal to that monster's attack. So you can just gain LP, so this effect already seems kind of mid, but okay. During the battle phase, quick effect. You can fusion summon a Earthbound fusion monster from your extra deck by bashing its materials from your hand, field, and or graveyard. So that effect's actually maybe kind of nice, but it has to be done during the battle phase, which makes it awkward. So is the intention to make Geogresha here? This doesn't do anything, right? Destroyed by card effect. And this one, if this is special summon, you can add a field spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Yeah, I don't see anything really good to make off of this. Okay. Earthbound Prison. When this card is activated, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls. This card gains this effect while this card is in the field zone. Negate the effects of that face-up effect monster while it is on the field. During your main phase, you normal summon one Earthbound monster in addition to your normal summon / set. You can only gain this effect hard once per turn if this card in your possession is destroyed by a opponent's card effect, and you have an Earthbound monster in your field or graveyard, halve your opponent's life points, and if you do, negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. Is there a way to force your opponent to destroy this? Weird. Okay. Like that's what I'm wondering about most of these cards. When a level 6 or higher monster is no more special summoned, tribute a level 10 Earthbound monster, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original attack of those destroyed monsters. Is this searchable? Let's see. Which one was it? Add one field spell. This is generically just any field spell. This is an Earthbound monster, and I don't think these guys search. Right, yeah. Let's see. You can only activate this card during the main phase, unless a card is in a field zone. Fusion, summon one Dark Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. During your main phase, if a card is in a field zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Earthbound monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except for fusion or synchro monsters. But this effect here says what? Nothing. Alright. This is a quick effect. Alright. When a level 6 or higher monster is normally special summon, tribute one level 10 Earthbound monster. Okay, we already read that one. And I'm confused. Okay. Let's check these two now then. If this card is a normal or special summon, you can special summon one level 5 or lower Earthbound monster from your deck or graveyard. So this is probably your primary starter from what I can tell. Okay. Except for Earthbound Prisoner, Groundkeeper. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for Fusion or Synchro monsters. A lot of cards will just randomly have this, I guess. You can only use this effect of Earthbound Prisoner Groundkeeper once per turn. Earthbound monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while there is a card in a field zone. Okay. This says specifically level 5, right? No, level 5 or lower. So then you can special summon Earthbound Prisoner Lion Walker. And Lion Walker says you can add one Earthbound Prison or Harmonic Synchrofusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. The levels aren't right to make a Synchro 4, though. Not that it matters because they're both tuners. Okay, if you control a level 6 or higher Earthbound monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. I don't get it. Sure, whatever. If there's a card in the field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. This doesn't do anything. Okay. So then you can make Synchro 6. Alright, let's say this is the case. You target one face of monster your opponent controls. Then it does that, and then battle phase effect. So that doesn't actually do anything. Okay, so, well, how do we even make Earthbound Servant Geogriffin? You don't have the levels, do you? Unless you go 5-3. So if we go 5-3, we can make this, and then what does this do? Quick effect, special summon a Earthbound monster from your graveyard in defense position. So you can summon a guy back, I guess. To do what with? No idea. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. Destroy a card on the field. Yeah, so I don't get the interaction points for this. Is this just like decent, I guess? This might be decent if the only form of removal your opponent has is like destruction, because your field spell has like some kind of like if destroyed effect. Most of your cards have a if destroyed effect, and you have destruction protection as well. And it's kind of hard, I guess, right? To out this to an extent, because you can't do it by battle, because this is not hard once per turn, is it? Yeah, the effect to reduce attack is not hard once per turn. But if this also gets destroyed by battle or card effect, this will destroy all cards your opponent controls, and then you will be able to special summon like Geokraken to do it again. So maybe it's fun to play against Unchained or something. Whenever their new support drops. So far, I'm not really seeing much from this pack, unless there's like something I don't know about, like uh, Red Dragon Archfiend, just in general. That's probably going to be the best deck currently out of these three, but I don't know for sure. It would take more research. In general, this selection, I don't even know if I really want to pull for this, like any of these, unless I really want to play like Tistina, EarthBound Immortals, or like Red Dragon Archfiend. Notably with these cards, you still need a lot of the Red Dragon Archfiend cards from their secret pack, I believe. Like, this is missing a lot of the resonators and stuff, right? I'm not sure if they're high rarity though. Vision Resonator is. Kinda depends how expensive this deck is though. Oh, but worth mentioning is I clearly didn't hold off on crafting Red Reboot long enough if Red Reboot is possible to craft here, and I already have a Royal Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, so in terms of the UIs, there isn't anything super interesting, and even if you want a transaction rollback, you'd probably just craft 3, because I don't think you want any of the other cards in this pack. Just, alright, I guess. This card kinda annoying though. Let's see. I guess it's worth talking about this one. Pay half your life points and target one normal trap in your opponent's graveyard. Except for transaction rollback, this effect becomes that card's activation effect. So that effect, not that important. You banish this card from your graveyard and pay half your life points and target one normal trap in your graveyard except for transaction rollback. This effect becomes that card's activation effect. You can only use one transaction rollback effect per turn and only once that turn. So let's see. This card gets banished from your graveyard. The normal trap in your graveyard gets retained. So just for example, we can activate Welcome Labyrinth, and then we can banish Transaction Rollback to activate Welcome again, as basic idea. Or we can do activate Torrential Tribute, and then if Torrential Tribute is in the graveyard with Transaction Rollback, we can just do that whenever. Kind of, right? I mean, this effect is kind of hard to understand. This effect becomes that card's activation effect. I don't know why, but apparently you can't copy Witch's Strike with transaction rollback. Not sure why this is the case. It doesn't say the activation condition has to be met, but maybe it's a ruling that the activation effect has to be, or condition has to be met. Technically, the effect of transaction rollback is not the same as Witch's Strike, like, until, like, it is. So I'm very confused on this. Like, can we just not copy Witch's Strike at all, or can we? Might need a little help on that ruling, I guess. Roar of the EarthBound Immortal. This isn't searchable, is it? Once per turn, if an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, destroy that target. If you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the destroyed monster's attack. Must control an EarthBound Immortal monster with attack higher than the attack of the attacking monster to activate and to resolve this effect. Okay. Red Carpet, if a dragon type synchro monster is on the field, target up to 2 resonating monsters in your graveyard, special summon them. What? Weird cards. But that should cover about everything that has been newly released here. Wait, why is this here? Fusion summon one fusion monster in your extra deck that lists a synchro monster as material by banishing fusion materials listed from your field or graveyard. If this set card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect and sent to your graveyard, draw one card. Okay, I guess. So, yeah. That was every single new card, I think, that got released for this new selection pack. And unless I'm missing something, a lot of these cards just seem incredibly mid, considering we just got Snake Eyes, so it's like, yeah, alright, I guess. Very cool. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.